And this match will pit Rodger Willett Jr. of the United States against Ali Davarci of Turkey. It'll be a little bit of a case of David versus Goliath right here. The old veteran against the young teenager, Brady.
Yeah, pretty much, except the size difference goes a little bit in the opposite direction.
Yeah, good point.
Well
done.
Rodger, I'm just joking with you. So
He'll hear about that.
Oh yeah,
and then you'll hear about that.
Yeah, it's all right.
It'll get back to him.
So Rodger here, #1 in the world, I believe, won the first 3 world stages, and also leading the Longines precision.
Yeah, he's got a couple of things at stake here, not just the match, but also came into today's competition 5 ahead of Rio Wild in the Longines prize for precision competition.
And that's his father behind him right there.
Now there's Ali Davarci, who is ranked 135th in the world, only 17 years old, taking on the 49-year-old Rodger Willett Jr. of the United States. Hails from Gloucester, Virginia, where he's a member of the Tidewater Bowhunters Club. And he'll be taking on the 17-year-old who brought home 2 medals from the World Archery Youth Championships in Poland last month. But this is a little bit of a step up from that.
A little bit, and this should be a good match. And, you know, like we were talking about earlier, the one thing to watch also besides just who's winning these matches is Rodger and Rio both shooting for that Longines, and Rio shot 10-10s the first match, and so we'll just have to see how many Rodger picks up here and what the lead is, and starts off with a 9 just right.
Willett aware of that lead that he had in the Longines prize for precision, but his first order of business is trying to defeat the youngster from Turkey, competing in front of the home crowd here in Istanbul. And they both shoot a 9 to start off, and then a surprising 8 from Rodger Willett Jr.
Yeah, that one's close to the line. They don't have an asterisk by it. And there's also an 8, so both archers kind of keeping pace with each other, not really taking advantage. Rodger needs to shoot a 10 here. And he shoots a 9 just low.
Rodger did bring home a gold and a bronze medal from China, both in team competition, but looking for a World Cup title here in Istanbul.
Ali's shooting a 9 too, so 26 to 26 to open up, and a little bit of wind on the field. They're both archers just feeling a little bit of nerve stepping up there to.
Well, if Davarci is intimidated, it doesn't show as he takes on Rodger Willett Jr. of the United States, ranked #1 in the world, 49 years old. And as you mentioned, Brady, he did suffer his first loss in Shanghai. He'd been perfect up until then, but he ran into Rio Wild in the quarterfinals and lost to Rio in Shanghai, and was in that unfamiliar position as you were in Shanghai, of watching the finals from the sidelines.
Yeah, yeah.
Uncomfortable, I know.
You know, both of us shot good, just got beat, and that's the hard thing about when you're up on top. I mean, we've seen it in a couple matches today. Everyone will kind of step up and try to shoot good against you, and you know, that's almost becomes more dangerous to not be a #1.
So you have the proverbial target on your back, huh?
Pretty much, and Rodger shooting another 9. Kind of uncharacteristic of him from this year. And there's the first 10 of the match, shooting an X, and hearing the crowd go wild over it. That little hometown support.
You know how that feels from when you were shooting in Ogden, Utah back in August.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference. And there's a 10 for Rodger.
So Rodger Willett Jr. settling down and shooting a 10. Of course, prior to Shanghai, Rodger had shot nothing but gold medal performances.
Perfect spot, the closest one we've seen today. That's took out the cross right in the middle.
So Davarci pumped up.
Rodger shooting another 9, just low left. You can see he's not very happy with himself right now, and there's a XXX perfect end for the Turkish.
Beautiful grouping there by the Turkish archer Ali Davarci, who we'll see in the mixed team competition as well.
Yep, Ali just stepped up there and shot a good end, needed to do what he needed to do, and has a 2-point lead over Rodger.
So 3 straight bullseyes for Ali Davarci. of Turkey, 17 years old, taking on the #1 ranked archer in the world in the compound men's competition, Rodger Willett Jr. of the United States, and the chant going up from the crowd here in Istanbul.
Now Rodger just needs to keep his composure here and start shooting some 10s, and hope that Ali's inexperience kind of comes out there and lets him back in. He's only 2 points out, so if he steps up here and shoots some good arrows, he should have a chance at it.
The next 9 arrows will tell the story, as Rodger Willett Jr. trying to shoot a 10 to start the third end, and does.
Good shot, Rodger.
We'll see if the inexperience comes into play right here.
And keeping strong, shooting the nets, doing what he needs to do. You can tell he wants it. His face is pretty calm. He's happy. He's smiling at his coach.
He's having a good time, Ali Davarci. And why not? 17 years old.
Rodger shooting an X there, doing what he needs to do.
Now he needs a break. Davarci just to be off just a little bit.
And there's a 9, so Rodger getting 1 point back, and see if Rodger can shoot a perfect score here and get back into the game. And he does, 10-10-10.
Strong showing for Rodger Willett Jr. with 3 straight 10s here in the third end. He was trailing by 2 after the second end.
And there's a 9, all squared up. Rodger stepped up, shot the 30 he needed to, and Ali shooting a 28, which isn't really a bad end, just when you're going against a 30.
Well, it was a 2-point swing. It was all even after the first end. Davarci went up by 2 after the second end, and then Willett Jr. wins at the third end, 30-28. So it's even Steven all again, and a great match. Some may not have expected this, as it was the 17-year-old ranked 135th in the world taking on the top-ranked Rodger Willett Jr. He's got tons, and there you see one, Carlos Holgado, who does a great job with his crew of putting all this together. If people could just see, and you can if you go to archery.org, they've got the pictures of how they've constructed this venue. Really built it from scratch.
It's amazing how fast they can get something up like that. And I mean, it's just not the stands. I mean, they come in here and put dirt in and level everything off and lay them bricks down, and it's a huge deal, and they get it done in a couple of days.
Tremendous undertaking, and a great job by Hit the Roof Production, putting together the television facilities.
Rodger's shooting 4 10s in a row now.
Putting on a show. So Rodger Willett Jr. getting the wake-up call.
And there's a 9 for a 1-point lead.
So Willett pulling ahead by 1, trying to increase his lead with a second shot of the fourth end.
And there's a 10. Starting to come in a little bit and calm down after that first end and doing what he needs to. Now Ali needs to keep pressure on and shoot a 10, and that was a 9 out, a little left, and starting to open up a little bit.
You can see the look of determination on the face of Rodger Willett Jr.
And there's a 9. Up and left just a tad.
A 10 right here would make things very interesting.
There you go. There it is. Rodger only having a 1-point lead going into the last 3 arrows. Very close match. A lot closer than what you would have figured for what their world rankings are. But then again, home crowd advantage, and shooting against #1, nothing to lose. You put it all out there, and things like this happen.
I know the people say you never take anybody for granted, but sometimes it's a little bit tough. It's the temptation is there, I think, and I'm not saying that's the case in this situation, but the temptation's there to look past people sometimes, isn't it? It
is, and the thing that in our sport that I love is, on any given day, anyone can be beaten, and it's just like this match here. We still have 3 ends left, but Ali is pushing Rodger a little bit and only 1 point back.
113-112, Rodger Willett Jr. with a 1-point advantage heading into the 5th and perhaps deciding end. Davarci to go first. He was up by 2 after the first 2 ends, and a 10.
Doing what he needs to do. little bit of a scary looking shot, but he gets it to go in the middle.
Keeping the pressure on Rodger Willett Jr.
And there's a 10 for Rodger. Answering.
Great response by Rodger.
And there's another 10.
Davarci doing his best.
This last end, when there's a lot of pressure, showing that he's capable of hanging in there. There's an X for Rodger.
That helps him maintain his lead, and also his lead in the competition with Real Wild for the Longines prize for precision.
And there's a 10-10-10 to finish. What a great job by Ali to go there. Now puts Rodger in the situation where Rodger has to shoot a 10 here to win. And there it is, 10-10-10.
Clutch performance by Rodger Willett Jr. from Gloucester, Virginia of the United States. Came from behind to get it done.
And that, I mean, that was an awesome match that Ali was able to shoot 3 10s on the last end, and you can see Rodger's last arrow went off a little bit low, and he wasn't know where it was going to hit, and it caught that 10. So Rodger shooting 9 10s that match, and Rio shot 10 in his. So now only having a 4.
It's a 4, well, yeah. A difference of 4 10s between the two in that battle for the Longines prize for precision.
2 matches, and I mean that's starting to get close, and depending on how the next match goes and you know how they're both shooting with the wind picking up, it's going to be tough. It's not anyone's to win yet, and both archers now have 2 matches left, so they're both going to have 30 more arrows to shoot. So this comes down to who gets on and who wants that extra 5,000 Swiss francs.
Swiss francs, along with the Longines watch, and of course the trophy to take home. So a lot on the line here, as well as the prize money that's up for grabs at the World Cup Finals. So there you go.